Hello, this is Shishi coming to you today with a tutorial on how to make this flower that I'm calling the one wave pleat flower. And it looks a little different than my other tutorial, which I called the pleated flower. Is because I have, as you can see, just one wavy pleat across each petal. I'd have to say this is one of my favorite flowers that I like to make, and it was inspired by the pleated flower. I was just experimenting one day and I just came up with this flower. Maybe you've seen it before, I don't know. This is just something I came up with, so I didn't see any tutorials or anything, but I like the design of this flower. So I'll show you how I came up with it. I used the retro flower punch, and how I came up with this design. I used this tool from EK Success. It's called the Triple Mini. I'll show you how I got this design. I slide this petals in, and then I just punch like that to get the rounded corner, the triple rounded corner. This is not how this tool was intended. It was to round corners of page. So I'm using it to round the corners of my petals. But that's what it is, and that's how I got to alter my petals for the retro punch. So this is what my flower looks like after I've colored it with Memento Potter's Clay. So I use that. You'll need a stylus or whatever you use to shape your flowers. I use the McGill Starburst punch for the centers of my flowers. When you punch them out, they look like this. I don't know if you can see that, but this is how they look. And you'll need some scissors, some glue with a fine tip, because when you do shape your stamens, you'll need a fine tip for the centers to get a closer shape of the stamens. So let's get started. You'll also need a water bottle to spray your flowers, because it helps in shaping of the petals. So I'll go ahead and do that to get started, and I'll spray each one. And I don't really have a set millimeter, but if you need to know what millimeter I'm using, it's 5 millimeters for my stylus. But I just shape my petals like this. Let me see if I can get on camera. I have the camera in front of me. So I just shape them, each one, and I just go around. I think I got this a little bit too damp, so you may want to just dry off some if you get them too damp. So I'll just go and shape each one while the other one dries. And the technique is a little bit different than the pleated flower technique, because you do need some shaping of the flower to get that wave that I showed you at the beginning. So I'll just go, see if I can tilt this camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Hope that's a better angle. I apologize if you weren't able to see, but I'll shape all three again. Let's see. Here we go. Close that better. I'm looking in the camera and then I'm trying to see what I'm doing at the same time to make sure you can see what I'm doing. But I'm just shaping them first before I start the pleat, just to break up the fibers of the paper. It makes it a little bit easier to shape. So I'll go back to the one that's not so wet, because these are still a little bit damp. So let's see, maybe this one, they're all still a little bit wet. So let's see, let's try this one. So this one, you go around in the center like so. So they're all pretty shaped. So when you're giving the one wave pleat, you're just going to pleat just that center point that I shaped in the beginning when I showed you how I punched that. So you just shape it like so and just do one little pleat so it gives that wavy look. And then you go to the next petal and do just one little pleat to give it that wave, like so. You're just bending those 2 points to give it that wave. Sometimes it doesn't want to cooperate with you if it's too wet, but let's see, give it that wave, and then as it dries it'll hold the shape. So yeah, just give it that like so. And I'm going to get my heat tool also to dry because these were a little bit too damp. So once I get all my petals with that one wave, then I'll hit it with the heat tool and get them dry. So it'll end up with something like this. So I'm going to hold that up to the camera so you can see. It's just one wave across every single petal. Alright, and then I'll go on to the next one and pleat again, just the center between those 2 points. And then you do that for all 3 flowers. See, this one's a little bit more dry now, but it's like you got to get it the right dampness, because when it dries it holds that shape, and then if it's too wet the papers might tear. So it's like, you know, sometimes you have to mist it once or twice, but 3 times maybe too much. And then just hit it with the heat tool to get it dry, and it'll hold its shape. Let's see, maybe go back to this one and just pleat it just a little bit more. So then you have that one like so. Then the last one I'll do off camera to save time. So I'll come back and then we'll shape the stamens. Okay, I have all my petals shaped, and now I'm going to glue them together. And you want to offset them, so this will be my bottom layer. So I'll glue that and offset it. Like so. And this will be my top layer flower. And then just kind of offset it like so. So our flowers coming together. Now it's optional how many stamens you want to put together, how thick you want your center to be. So I'll set that aside. I've punched out 5, but you can really do this with 4. So it's going to be hard to see what I'm doing because these are black, but I like the color with the potter's clay ink that I used. So I'm going to shape them really quickly, and I'll just do 4 for now, and then if we need a 5th one, then I'll do that. But it depends on how it looks after you do 4 if you want a 5th one. but I'm going to do 4 for now. So here I have one, and I'm going to cut it to make it a little bit tighter so that I have a thicker center. So I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to glue this to make my center a little bit tighter. So I'm going to do that and glue that together and hold it. And then what I do is I just stick one center inside the other to get it to be thicker, so that once you put all of them together it looks more realistic. Unfortunately, I don't know what type of flower this is. I wish I did, but maybe you guys could tell me what it looks like after it's finished. I'm not really up on my flowers, like what this looks like and what that looks like. I just do what looks pretty to me, and you know, I just create. A lot of times when you go shopping at Michael's or Joann's, you see a pack of flowers. They normally don't say what kind of flowers they are. They're just different designs, and it just says flowers, assorted flowers. So that's kind of how I'm looking at this flower. It's just a flower, and it comes in whatever color you like. And I think that this color, this, you know, black, works well with the potter's clay. So that's why I chose this as a contrasting color. I just liked how it turned out. And then, you know, when everything's all said and done, your flower turns out like this. And, you know, each flower is different. You can spread, you know, the stamens out. Like I said, you can add more if that's not enough. Here's the other one I did. You know, you can put the flower where there's more white to give it a different look. Here I pinched it more, and you can go back and pinch more. I was rushing when I created this one, but you can go back and pinch more to give it more shape on the tips. You don't like how that turned out. Yeah, I need to give it more shape and pinch more on the tips to create it more like this one. But that's how you do it. So I want to thank you for joining me today, and I hope this tutorial was helpful in creating the one wave pleated flower, I guess is what I'll call it. And I hope you have fun creating your own, but that's how you do it. So take care everyone, and have a great day.